up? This is Pat Lynch.
And I'm Taco Bob. You're not rocking out with WJRR.
Lock it in here with Marc Daniels and the Beat of Sports.
Happy Wednesday, buddy. Welcome to the Beat of Sports. I'm Marc Daniels. Chris Vasquez is on the other side of the glass, what we call a control room. Chris is fired up today.
I mean,
Walked in, he saw a checkerboard.
Had an omelet, had a virgin margarita.
What are you making that face for?
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't drink at 9:30 in the morning or 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah, the folks from the Aloft Hotel downtown came by and were kind to offer an omelet station for everybody today. It's part of the second annual Margarita Festival happening Friday from 4 o'clock till 12 at the Aloft Hotel, 500 South Orange Avenue. Pet adoption program going on. It's Rescued by Judy. They brought a couple of little four-legged friends by and made a bunch of omelets for people, so we thank them for coming by today. But Chris came in, he saw checkerboard. Big time competition. The show within the show up here on the stream.
I'm about to wreck you.
Checker trash talk. We're going to do a couple of different show within the shows in the video stream. And, I mean, talk about trying to buy your viewership. Race there to watch us play speed checkers. And then our new weekly food segment, foods that Chris doesn't eat that Chris eats. Today it's cauliflower rice. And like a 2-year-old, I had to bribe him by covering it with stir-fry vegetables and chicken.
Migos will be playing in the background.
With soy sauce. Yeah. Yeah.
I saw there was onions in there. I'm going to pick around the onions.
There may be some vegetables you don't want, but yeah.
Pick around those. Because I'm only asked to eat the cauliflower rice. No other veggies.
Good grief. and I bought you, you left the sunflower seeds in here.
I'll get those.
That's you
barbecue.
Barbecue. Do you eat these?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just can't do the dill pickle sunflower seeds.
I almost bought those, but I didn't know what you eat or don't eat.
You know, I'm always ranch. Ranch is the go-to. Ranch flavored sunflower seeds all day.
You know, like on bags, they have like serving size and it says like, 4 servings in a bag. They're all in here. Just like, hey, it's 1 serving. This is a lot of sunflower seeds. Why is this? Do you seed eaters? Like this is a wow. All right.
Yeah. And I'll have like 40 in my mouth at a time, 50.
Okay.
I look like I have a fat wad in my cheek.
I mean, what else can we do on the stream to make you watch? I don't know, other than hurting animals.
No, we're not doing that.
I'm just kidding. We never do that. Anyway, how you doing?
I'm good, Mark. Nice and full. I'm excited for the show today.
Yeah, I'm a little frustrated about trying to get rid of this thing that I got and the voice and everything. So
you're sounding better and better.
I know, but I'm
not sounding
there.
better and better.
I still got this coughing up this stuff. Like, God, what is that?
Ugh.
It's gross and everything. But could use more rain today. Get rid of that pollen. Keep the rain. No, not for a rain. I got that last night in baseball. But no, for the pollen, man. It's worked.
Yeah.
Breathing better.
I just I don't like, because I have a tree and it's got those little brown, like, I don't know what they're called.
Leaves?
No, they're not leaves. They're like I don't know how to describe them.
Okay.
But they're like all around the ground. They fall on my car.
Yeah.
And it's just a pain.
Yeah.
I need to get all other.
That's why I don't get. I normally take my car to get washed like once a week, but like I'm waiting for everything to drop. Because what's the point? You just go and it's dirty again. So.
I can't take my car through the car wash yet. I got to wait 30 days.
Whoa, Mister, had to get it fixed up after a little.
Yeah, not happy about that
incident there, but
it is what it is.
Coming up, back not by popular demand, but the great Steve Holman clip of the Atlanta Hawks announcer, Dirty Rotten Players in Orlando. Why? Because Quinn Snyder has now responded about the Gogo Batazzi play.
We need someone from the Magic to
on an
step
Atlanta
up
radio station. Quinn Snyder talks about the impact of that play.
We need someone from the
Magic.
Magic.
All dirty, rotten players, the whole team.
Love that clip.
The whole team. So that's coming up in a little bit. Yeah, you got to hear Quinn Snyder's response.
Why has nobody from the Magic stepped up to defend Goga?
What's there to defend? It was a regular play. Chris.
But you're letting the Atlanta Hawks play-by-play guy call him a dirty rotten player, and then he calls everyone on the team
Everybody.
dirty rotten players.
Yeah. Yeah, the injured
no
player.
one stepped up for themselves.
The injured player that needed prayers from above walked off. Not like needed a, not like the UCF pitcher took a 105-mile line drive to the face. The somehow injured Hawk player got up and walked off. Yeah. So that's coming up in a little bit.
Can you imagine if Grayson Allen was around? Grayson Allen, wasn't he a dirty player?
I mean, if he was around, he's still in the NBA.
Well, if he did something like that, how would Steve Holman reacted?
I don't know, but any opportunity to play that clip is a great opportunity. Plus, Keith Smith will join us. We'll get his thoughts on that and this final week of the season. Magic in 8th place today. Charlotte lost last night. Actually played really well with Boston for 3.5 quarters, and the Celtics are the Celtics. And they won the game. And yeah, the Magic went out. I still think they're going to finish in 6th place. Could finish in 5th, but Atlanta's got to lose the rest. And, we're the dirty, rotten players.
Every single one of them.
Every single one of them. Every single one of them. Yep. Yeah, every one. But the Raptors beat the Heat last night. Miami's settling in for the road trip in the 10-9 game. Nick Oates is going to join us. He's worked for a number of pro teams on the analytics side and wrote a really good piece, and I invited him on as the college basketball transfer portal is open. How do you value players in college? I mean, in the NBA, in Major League Baseball, Chris, you would think with all of the analytic departments that exist, and even though you hate most of this, but when you go to sign players in free agency and make trades, you assign a value to them. And this is a relatively new world in college basketball and what is basically free agency every single year. And Nick took the story that's out there. Flory Badunga's the big guy from Kansas. And it's reported by a couple of people that he's seeking $5 million. I don't know if that's true, but Nick wrote his piece like, okay, let's assign a formula here to figure out what he might be worth. And it's an interesting piece that he wrote. He'll be on to talk about.
Is it true that more than half of college basketball players are already in the portal?
Is it true that
more than half of all college basketball players are in the portal?
No, I saw the tweet. I think it was Jeff Goodman or somebody wrote that based on players that are seniors that no longer have eligibility, and based the amount of players left, and based on what is the perceived number who's in the portal, yeah, it might be around that. But you're also taking out all those that have lost eligibility. So yeah, and what?
Nothing.
Chris, in the SEC,
nothing.
No, just let me state a fact. In the SEC this past year, one player began and finished their eligibility at the same school. One. Yeah.
Okay. It's ridiculous.
I don't know why that bothers you.
It's ridiculous. Well,
BJ Taylor is going to join us again. We'll wrap up the college basketball season with him, get his thoughts on the championship game and some other storylines. And Mike Malone was introduced at North Carolina yesterday. And do a little game show with Chris later on. So all that and much more coming up. But first, everybody's favorite segment.
It's almost like an unwritten rule that when you become a father, you become king of the bad dad jokes.
What is Forrest Gump's password? 1 Forrest 1.
Are you ready to laugh? We know at least one person is. Here's CB's dad joke of the day.
Somebody did stop me yesterday.
Great.
Did say it's their favorite segment of the show.
fantastic.
I said, what's wrong with you, man?
Adding more pressure to me, but I
I
think
said, seriously, what's wrong with you?
I'm super excited for this joke, Mark. What's the difference between Dubai and Abu Dhabi?
Oh, boy. I don't know, Chris. What's the difference between Dubai and Abu Dhabi?
The people of Dubai don't like the Flintstones, but the people of Abu Dhabi do.
I got nothing.
Hey, it's Johnny Manny from Johnny's House.
Look, we've got you covered with the hits and what's going on in the city beautiful.
And Mark, he's got everything you need to know in the sports world, with maybe a touch of sarcasm.
This is the Beat of Sports with Marc Daniels.
You can access this show on 96.9 FM, 740 AM, on the iHeart app, listen anywhere in the world, in podcast form. Just type in the Beat of Sports on demand and subscribe and listen when it's convenient for you to get it downloaded. And on our video stream available on X or Twitter, go to 96.9 Game On, click on that link, or go to our YouTube page, 96.9 The Game Orlando, click on the logo and the live button. You can watch us, and we'll do some stuff within the show, like speed checkers coming up, and Chris eats foods that he doesn't like to eat.
I'm going to beat you in speed checkers. By the way, you can go on the Instagram, 96.9 The Game, and vote on our poll. I know you love polls, but who's going to win? Either me or Mark in speed checkers.
Yeah. Wagering and courage, I guess, right?
Yeah, I'm the odds-on favorite.
Chris voted several times.
I did vote once for myself.
Okay. So this is going to be one of the great clips ever. Steve Holman, the longtime voice of the Atlanta Hawks. The Hawks are in town to play the Magic earlier in the week, or what do we know? Well, today's Wednesday. I'm sorry, the weekend. Or last week, I'm sorry. And this play happened, and here's the clip. I know you've heard it, but I want to play it again because then Hawks head coach Quinn Snyder wants to add his thoughts on that play. But here's Steve Holman's clip.
Jalen at the head of the key. Now right side he goes Dyson. Dyson in the lane. Dyson turns. Pass. He goes to Jalen. Jalen in the lane. Get it knocked away, but it goes right to Jonathan Flamingo. Now to Jock, who goes up and got fouled hard. Jock Landale just got knocked down. A terrible, dirty play by the Orlando Magic. This is what they do. They just knocked down Jock Landale and hurt him badly. Oh, my goodness. Somebody should get thrown out of this game. What a dirty, rotten team this Orlando Magic is. Oh, my goodness gracious. Jock Landale got knocked down hard. Dyson Daniels wanted to go over and help him. Pray to God that Jock Landale is not hurt badly, folks. That was a dirty, rotten play by Orlando. I don't care what anybody says or anybody replays on this one. This is a dirty, rotten team. They get down by 30 points, and this is what they do. They are dirty, rotten players, every one of them on that team. They can't take the losing. The Hawks are going to be 4-0 against this team. They whine and complain on everything, and then they go to dirty, rotten tactics. Jock is up on his feet. Let's hope he's okay. My goodness gracious. That Badazzi has no business even being in the league. Gogo Badazzi should be thrown out of the game, thrown out of the league for a play like that. He is a no-talent, dirty, rotten player. They're going to come over and look at this. They better throw him out on a flagrant 2. There's no doubt that this should be a flagrant 2. If they call anything else, it's wrong.
The prior foul's under review for a potential flagrant foul.
No kidding. Thank you very much, Ed Malloy. Mr. Obvious. Oh, my goodness gracious.
Jock Landale got up and walked off on his own. Now, he is out for a couple of weeks. Quickly, 10 o'clock hour, WYGM Orlando, WJR, HD2, Cocoa Beach. Dirty, rotten players, all of them. All of them.
Goga's got no place in this league.
Here's Quinn Snyder on 92.9 The Game, no relation to us, but the station in Atlanta. And he's explaining the play on Jock Landale, who, by the way, his long career with the Atlanta Hawks is 23 games. Okay. Steve Holman makes it out like he's been a 20-year vet in Atlanta. He's been there for 23 games. And here's Quinn Snyder talking about the impact of Landale's injury. Whoops, that would help. I was ready. Sorry about that. Here it is.
Punk us, and you know what? It didn't work because we were tough and we competed, and then it turned into that when the game's over, and it makes me really, really angry, and you feel it. I think the reason I feel this right now, even more, and I'm being stronger on it with you guys because I think you understand it, and I don't want to make it about that.
No, but listen,
but
you started last night,
right?
You started last night, and we're fighting for our lives here, and we're not a big.
Settle down, okay? the great Steak Shapiro arguing. We're fighting for our lives.
Big team. We know our advantages, but you got a guy like Landale who comes in who is a huge body who can also step out and hit a three. You're having to play guys 40 minutes. It has a massive impact on the postseason and how healthy he is if you can't get a guy like him out there.
Well, it does, and I tell you what, we're going to overcome it.
Yep.
You know, we're going to do different things that we have to do, and New York game is a really tough matchup, and that's why I go back to running. You know, we've got to get out and mitigate some of that. You know, if you're down 30, 40 pounds and 4 inches on someone, like it's like a boxing match. You know, you don't want to get stuck on the ropes, and that's something that our guys know, but it's, you know, sometimes it's harder to do it than it is for, you know, the two of us to talk about it. But
that's Quinn Snyder talking about the loss of Jock Landale and what it means for those dirty, rotten players in Orlando.
Wow.
Yeah. By the way, and I get it, it's fodder that works. I don't think it was on Steak Show, but there was another show that did the shouldn't Batazzi be out as long as Jock Landale's out. Oh, you've heard that argument before, right? Well, when the player hurts someone, their suspension should be as long as the player's out. Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
Man, trying to figure any way other than a play-in matchup that the Magic and Hawks could play each other.
That would be fantastic.
Huh? How about that?
It would have to be at least what if they were to make it that far, either the Eastern.
Just please play the clip again. I just want to hear the start of it again.
Dylan at the head of the key. Now right side, he goes Tyson. Tyson in the lane. Tyson turns. Pass. He goes to Jalen. Jalen in the lane. Get it knocked away, but it goes right to Jonathan Kaminga. Now to Jock, who goes up and got fouled hard. Jock Landale just got knocked down. A terrible, dirty play by the Orlando Magic. This is what they do. They just knocked down Jock Landale and hurt him badly. Oh, my goodness. Somebody should get thrown out of this game. What a dirty, rotten team this Orlando Magic is. Oh, my goodness gracious. Jock Landale got knocked down hard. Dyson Daniels wanted to go over and help him. Pray to God that Jock Landale is not hurt badly, folks. That was a dirty, rotten play by Orlando. I don't care what anybody says or anybody replays on this one. This is a dirty, rotten team. They get down by 30 points, and this is what they do. They are dirty, rotten players, every one of them on that team.
Everyone.
They can't take the losing.
They can't take the losing.
Oh, man. How great is that? How great is that? Can I play something else for you?
Is this the start of a rivalry?
Well, I hope so. The NBA needs more rivalries. Koa Kai is the quarterback coach at Oregon. They got spring practice going on. And he shared this nugget on how he evaluates quarterbacks and their ability of making quick decisions.
Like I ask him a question like this all the time. Hey, do you like chocolate ice cream or vanilla ice cream? Okay, the minute a kid pauses, I don't really want that kid, right? Because you need to have some type of conviction, right, wrong, or indifferent. Okay, so whether you like chocolate or you like vanilla, I don't really care. But if you sit there and say, coach, I don't know. Is it melted? Is it not? What's the brand? So on and so forth. Like, what is this kid going to do on third down in front of 110,000? He's probably going to think about it more than he should. He's not going to have conviction, right? So it's, like I just said, long-winded, I understand, but it's the mental aspect. It's really what we're after.
Cut it out, man. Okay, it's ice cream.
Yeah, I'm not seeing the correlation between picking chocolate or vanilla and then a third and
I get what he's trying to get to, but it's like, stop it. Okay. 5-star kid walks into the office on a big recruiting trip. Everybody in the country wants him. You're like, okay, chocolate or vanilla? Nope.
Next.
Sorry. Yeah. What do you mean? I don't want him. Dan Lanning's like, listen, nope. Why? He couldn't decide chocolate or vanilla. I mean, come on, man.
You got to put him in.
I love when coaches just take life so serious like this. It's like, come on, man.
You got to put him in a tougher situation. You got one baby crying in this arm. You got another baby who's trying to run out the door. Make a decision.
Like, I kind of get if you're like, hey, we like to put a formation up on the screen and see if he understands basic stuff. And if he doesn't, okay, you might have me dance here. But when he goes, I don't know, man, chocolate or vanilla, is it soft serve? Is it,
By the way,
Cold Stone? What is it? I don't know.
by the way, vanilla. I don't do chocolate ice cream. I don't like chocolate.
I don't care.
Well,
but
wanted to know.
He says it with like such a straight face, like, "Oh, I mean it." Like, if you can't decide chocolate vanilla, I don't want you here, man.
I guess everyone's got their way of doing things, right?
Yeah, it's just when you go that route, it's like, come on, man, you don't take life that serious, do you? Oh yeah, I do. That's how winners handle decisions like that. No, that's how idiots respond in situations. Okay, you can sell me the football side of it and stuff like, hey, we want guys to come in to understand basic terminology and can read a defense and things like that. Then we're gonna make them better. But the old, hey, chocolate or vanilla?
So this is pretty on topic. What do you think about like the Wonderlic test? Isn't that like
I got rid of it.
But what did you think of it? Like they put you in like make believe situations and see how you answer these questions, and we took that into account.
It's just like I think today what I did of the SAT, which I didn't test well on. I mean, I didn't do that bad, but it's almost like this isn't going to determine my ability.
Didn't you get like 400 points for signing your name?
I don't think that's actually true. But I mean, I've used the story before. The great Sid Pachter was a professor at Florida's journalism school. Pretty well-respected school. And he looked at me and says, you can't type 70 words a minute. You'll never make it in this business. I'm like, you think the typing test is going to prevent me from being successful? He goes, mark my words. Look, maybe he's right. What the hell am I doing these days? Maybe he was right after all. I don't know. Maybe he was actually right about that. But look, I think the reason why the Wonderlic doesn't exist anymore is because you had NFL teams that realized there's better ways of doing this. And I think now, as you get teams that spend all these hours and dollars sitting and getting to know players, it's far better than, train leave Chicago at 8 a.m. traveling X amount of miles an hour. When does it get to Memphis? And what if you're staying at the Westin Hotel that LeBron doesn't want to stay at? There's that stuff.
I never understood the point of the Wonderlic test. I never understood it.
Well, again, that's why I think teams to a degree got tired of using it and it got phased out.
Yeah.
So, and everybody's got different ways of, I guess, testing the decision-making process for people. But I'm not picking on Oregon. The results will speak for itself. But I thought that was funny, like a little bit of an extreme here. Can you like both ice creams? I mean, it's possible. I like both. Once in a while, a little soft serve vanilla is not bad, So, Magic do play tonight, final home game of the season against Minnesota. Comes off a back-to-back. They really have nothing to play for. Their seeding is pretty much set. So it's a good chance for the Magic based on where they are. And again, I think if the Magic win the next three, I do think they'll finish out of the play-in. But you take nothing for granted, as I think the Magic and Magic fans have learned in the last couple of weeks. But we'll have coverage of tonight's game, Magic and the Timberwolves. Keith Smith's going to talk basketball with us. We'll get his thoughts on the great Steve Holman clip, the final few days of the NBA season, all that and much more with Keith next.
Time to talk basketball with Keith Smith. The latest on the Magic and around the NBA. Follow Keith on Twitter at Keith Smith NBA.
Enjoy our basketball visits with Keith Smith on these Wednesdays, final a few days of the NBA regular season. You can follow Keith and please support his work on extra Twitter at Keith Smith NBA. Good morning, Keith. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Keith, I want to play something and then get your thoughts on it. So, Chris, hit the clip.
Going at the head of the key. Now right side, he goes Dyson. Dyson in the lane. Dyson turns. Pass. He goes to Jalen. Jalen in the lane. Get it knocked away, but it goes right to Jonathan Kuminga. Now to Jock, who goes up and got fouled hard. Jock Landale just got knocked down. A terrible, dirty play by the Orlando Magic. This is what they do. They just knocked down Jock Landale and hurt him badly. Oh, my goodness. Somebody should get thrown out of this game. What a dirty, rotten team this Orlando Magic is. Oh, my goodness gracious. Jock Landale got knocked down hard. Dyson Daniels wanted to go over and help him. Pray to God that Jock Landale is not hurt badly, folks. That was a dirty, rotten play by Orlando. I don't care what anybody says or anybody replays on this one. This is a dirty, rotten team. They get down by 30 points, and this is what they do. They are dirty, rotten players, every one of them on that team.
Keith, I remember the bad boy Pistons. I remember some of the great, brutal teams, the Knicks squads. Are the Magic one of the all-time dirty teams in the NBA?
Yeah. I grew up listening to Johnny Most call games for the Celtics, and you'd be watching on TV, and there'd be a brush foul, and you'd think somebody hit a guy with a steel chair, WWE style. So that's a little bit of hyperbole in there, but I will say the Magic have a bit of a reputation for playing right on the edge, and that Goga Bitadze is having this kind of building reputation for a guy who's going to, he might take a shot at a guy every once in a while.
Okay. Let's move to where the Magic are right now. There's a lot of scenarios that can still find Orlando outside the play-in. They got a chance to win all three games. They get Minnesota off the back-to-back, and the T-Wolves have very little to play for. Same may be the case for Chicago, who has nothing to play for, and then Boston. So give me your thoughts on where the Magic are today and all the scenarios out there in the East.
Yeah, it feels like every week we can talk, and it's, man, the Magic, are they ever going to do anything right again? And then the next week it's, well, the team's won a few games in a row, and things aren't looking so bad, and we're kind of on a little bit of an upswing. And yeah, I think the Magic are in a position where if you just look at the strength of schedule, you're a little like, all right, we got to get some tough ones in there. But if you actually then go through and actually look at the games themselves, you're like, oh, okay, well, Minnesota, like you said, there's nothing left to play for the Wolves. They're not going to catch the Rockets. They are locked into the 6th seed. By the time the Magic play the Celtics on the last day of the season, their Celtics are going to be done. So I think Orlando's in position here where they should, in theory, now we'll see, shoulds are only worth what they're worth, but they should win out the rest of the way. And for them, that's big because that could put them in position to still get in that top 6. Atlanta's been playing pretty well, but they've got a couple tough games left. Toronto has been very up and down. Philadelphia, very up and down. So it's also in front of the Magic to get out of the play-in and get into that top 6.
Last night, Charlotte really battled the Celtics for 3+ quarters, and I think the maturity experience of the Celtics took over. I don't know, it may be fair, maybe not, to say this is the difference of where Charlotte is. Nice second half of the season, but against a veteran team that still was playing. What'd you take out of the Boston-Charlotte game last night?
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I think what you saw is the Celtics know what it takes to close out games and to win games. And Joe Mazzulla went with his starters and his main rotation guys. I think you saw a lot of the other guys are going to be on the floor for big minutes for Boston. For most of that fourth quarter, they snatched the momentum at the end of the third, and instead of sitting Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum or even both of them to begin the fourth, he ran them both out there and said, we're going to go the rest of the way like this. And that showed, hey, this is an important game. I think Celtics wanted to put themselves in position where, all right, we only need to win once or have the Knicks lose once, and that's it. Everything's wrapped up for us. I think they want to be in a spot where it is, all right, we're going to kind of probably play it out against the Knicks, in New York on Thursday, and then we'll see where they go from there. But in Charlotte, good learning experience. LaMelo Ball was getting whatever he wanted, and the Celtics hugged up a little bit tighter. They brought the bigs, both Vooch and Kata, up more in pick and roll kind of cut that off, and then Charlotte didn't have anything else to really go to. And that's going to be, the learning adjustment for a young team as you go, because in the playoff series, things that came easy in games 1 and maybe games 2, they're not going to come as easy as it goes along when you see the same team 4, 5, 6 times, 7 times maybe over a 2-week period.
Here comes injuries playing a factor now. We view Detroit differently if Cade Cunningham is not back. And I don't know if you just walk back on the court and the Pistons are the same. I think the Magic handled a Detroit team without Cade, as you saw, fairly well despite the late rally. You've got the situation with the Lakers where they look like a non-play-in team with all the injuries they're dealing with. And now in San Antonio, you got the Wemby situation. So 3 teams that probably thought they had at least title contending opportunities for San Antonio, Detroit, and the Lakers probably thought they could get by a couple of rounds. But now those 3 teams you just view differently with the injuries.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, it sounds like Cade is going to get back on the floor here over these last few games. Maybe he plays in a couple of them, and that would be huge for him and the Pistons. Just knock the rust off, get him feeling good, because with the 1 seed wrapped up, I think one of the things that we're still adjusting to with the play-in tournament is if you're one of those top 6 teams, you get a week off. You're not going to play, for a whole week, and you're going to go into those series, hopefully rested and well. So I think for the Pistons, it's important to get Cade Cunningham out there, so it's not like a month and a half or so since he's played a game. The Wemby, hopefully it sounds like it's something that he's going to be okay in another day or two, and that'll work itself out. But the Lakers, I mean, there's a real situation here where the Lakers season is essentially ruined. I mean, that they are in really rough position here the rest of the way. They're going to be a playoff team, but if Luka can't go and Austin Reeves can't go, and it doesn't sound like we're going to see him in the first round unless this miracle treatment Luka's undergoing in Spain gets him ready, they're just not going to have enough to get through that first round of the playoffs. And that's really rough, because they were starting to play pretty good basketball throughout the month of March.
Am I correct that Wemby's got to get on the court for 20 minutes to play the 65th game to be eligible for the awards?
Yeah. So we're going to see, that probably be a thing. It's not one of these where they can just put him out there, commit a foul, and get him out, and that's good enough, because he's had some other low-minute games throughout the course of the year. So they got to get him out there for at least one more game, play a decent amount of minutes. But the reports were good that it sounds like this is an injury that, with a few days off, he should be okay. And 3 games left over the final 4 days of the season, I think the Spurs will be all right to get him back out there.
Keith, I remain fascinated by the Mike Malone story, because maybe he just said, wow, but what an opportunity. I would imagine his people had been doing due diligence about potential openings and what might develop. Clearly, some in Orlando wondered about Mike Malone. What do you make of what happened here?
Yeah, very surprising that this was the move that was made, because it kind of came out of nowhere. No one I had talked to had even mentioned his name. There was a lot of focus on Billy Donovan. If he finished out the season and chose to part ways with the Bulls, or they chose to part ways with him, there was a lot of talk of, all right, maybe that's the direction they go. And Donovan himself said, hey, I'm not even going to think about any of that stuff until the end of the season. Now, all of a sudden, Michael Malone is UNC's new head coach. And definitely interesting. He's not been a college guy. He's been an NBA head coach for a long time, won a title in the NBA. So this is even a guy who is like a middling coach that was just kind of hanging in there. This is really, really interesting. And it shows, I think, what you're starting to see is college coaching jobs are starting to become a little bit more enticing to NBA lifers, because in this new world where you have a general manager of your program and those kind of things, there's a lot for the head coaches. It's more of in recruiting. It's going to be more of a seal the deal kind of thing, versus you got to be out in these gyms and out all summer recruiting these kids hard and letting them see you. That's more of now the general manager's type of job in these different programs. So you may see coaches who they've always said they're loath to do the college thing because they don't want to do all the recruiting. They may be more interested because now it can be, hey, I just got a coach, and that's what I really want to do.
I've asked you before, and we're going to probably do this topic again because the NBA claims that they're addressing it, the whole thing about tanking, and Draymond Green gave a pretty long answer last night, and he's right. The Kings are playing the Warriors, and they're fouling Seth Curry with 3 minutes to go. And he just said, for all the tanking, the NBA issue 2 fines. He's right. I don't think anybody expects it to be fixed this week, but that was a little embarrassing last night.
Yeah, I mean, just look at some of these lineups that these teams are putting out there. And I am all for the two-way guys getting these opportunities, and I hope they all make the most of them down the stretch of the season. And, I want to see those guys earn, contracts, standard deals, and the like. But, I mean, some of these lineups, Memphis is playing guys where if you look at the jersey numbers, it looks like it's the offensive line out there with, guys wearing numbers in the 50s and 70s. It really is, who ultimately loses here in the end is the fans. And I get that most of the fans of the tanking teams are like, no, we want the best draft pick possible, but you also don't want to have your season tickets. And that's where, it's going to ultimately come to a head is when fans are finally like, you know what, I'm out. And some of these teams, if they start out a season where, hey, we're not really going to be trying to win. If I'm a fan, I'm like, okay, I get it. I understand why you're doing it, but don't expect me to pay thousands of dollars for tickets either. I'll come every once in a while. And, if I really want to see somebody play or see a game, but I'm not going to lock in. And that's where it gets, very, very messy. And that's, part of the line that the NBA is walking here. Now, I will say this on the tanking. Next year's draft class is not nearly as strong as this one. Multiple of these teams have already made moves that have set themselves up to be good next year, like Utah, Washington, Indiana. Dallas is expecting to take a big step forward. So I don't think it's going to be nearly as bad, but the NBA wants to make permanent fixes here. But it sounds like teams are a little lukewarm on the proposal. So I think we still got a ways to go before this gets fixed, but they want to have it done before the offseason starts. So, let's see where it goes. We're on a ticking clock here.
Please support his work. Go to X or Twitter at Keith Smith NBA. Get the links to all of his writings and all the video and shows. And next time we talk, we'll have a play in action and playoffs about to begin. Thank you, Keith. Have a good week.
I appreciate it. Thanks so much for having me.
Our good friends at Gold Key Roofing. Good time to remind you as we get some rain here and storm season around the corner. My good friend Trevor from Gold Key Roofing is here to chat with us. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, Mark. How are you, sir?
Who do you want the Chiefs to draft?
I don't know. I'd really like I was hoping for a running back, but we picked up Kenneth Walker, so I think we're good there. I think mostly we're probably looking defense.
All right, let's move on. Hey, we got some rain here. Always a reminder for people, as I say, you don't need a heavy storm, a hurricane to come through. What should people know as we get into the storm season here?
Sure you have your roof inspected, have it looked at, make sure you have no existing problems that are going to really show up when these spring rains start rolling in.
You guys changed the website a little bit. What's there that makes it easier for people now?
We actually recreated our entire website. So it's a brand new page, goldkeyroofing.com, and it also has an instant quote option on there. So if you don't want to call in, you can just go to the website, hit the instant quote, put in your address, and it'll kick out a range of prices for everything from shingles to tile to metal. So you can kind of see where you stand.
What is the My Safe Florida home program?
My Safe Florida Home is a state-run program offering free wind mitigation inspections and up to $10,000 grants to upgrade your home to make it safer and more storm ready, basically. So it's a very good program. A lot of people are using it to get their roofs taken care of. It's kind of a long process, but we have really kind of leaned into it. We've got a lot of people that are taking advantage of the state of Florida's program.
You've got a mascot now?
God, we've been around for 51 years now, so people started calling us, the greatest of all time. So we were like, you know what, we are the GOAT. In sports terms, everybody knows who the GOAT is, but in roofing terms, Gold Key Roofing's the GOAT. And we've got our mascot. We call him Rufus, and he is an actual GOAT. We bring him in here, do commercials. Great guy.
I have to come see the GOAT now after this. You kidding me? I got to come by and see the GOAT.
The GOAT is outstanding. Rufus has a great time when he comes up here. We had him here for a Christmas party, and everybody got photos and got to pet Rufus, and it was a great time.
Please visit our friends at goldkeyroofing.com. You'll find crews all over the area, all the way up to the villages in Ocala, because they do great work. Good catching up, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Go Chiefs.
There you go. Gold Key Roofing, our good friends. A little bit in about 25 minutes or so, we're going to do speed checkers.
Yep.
So if you're watching on the stream, if you're not, drop everything and get there, because Chris and I do little speed checkers. Plus later, Chris eats a food that he doesn't like. Today it's cauliflower rice. I had to put a bunch of stuff on it because he's a little baby. We'll do that in the 11 o'clock hour. But up next is the college basketball transfer portal is open. How do you put actual valuations on all these players in a complicated system? Someone that's got experience on the pro level joins us to talk about that next. In the NFL, Major League Baseball, the NBA, hockey, soccer, analytics plays a big role at the professional level, not just in how to prepare a lineup on a daily basis, but how teams value players when you think about building a roster and in free agency. Well, here we are, really in the infancy of free agency in college football and basketball. Whatever this system is going to develop into, it still is relatively new as far as football and basketball teams and hiring true general managers. And that's not just to negotiate with players, but how do you assign value in a developing market? And you may read stories in football and basketball to players that are seeking multi-million-dollar deals. And it's up to teams to decide, based on how much they're wanting to pay for a team, how much of a percentage do I want to give to this, quote, potential star player. Next guest had a really good story that I came across on his Substack. Nick Oza has worked in the analytic department for a number of pro teams, including the Rays. That he's done work with, as well as the Dodgers and the Hornets. And he's got a Substack that you can find the deep dive that he did on this particular topic. Nick Oza 2 on the Substack. Nick, welcome. Thanks for joining us. How are you?
Doing well. Thanks for having me.
I want to start, if we can, just on, like I said, this is an emerging industry that the pros have done for a long time. What do you make of just the last couple of years on an evolving evaluation process of trying to figure out what some of these players are worth?
Yeah, so obviously college coaching historically has been a lot about recruiting players out of high school, developing players in college, and the coaching portion, which is having them play up, hopefully even better than their actual talent level based on how you use them and what kind of scheme you put around them. Over the last couple of years, the job has changed significantly because there's essentially the equivalent of free agency in college basketball every year. So there is much more of a value add being placed on how to evaluate players, and not just how to evaluate players coming out of high school, but how to evaluate players immediately for next year, whether they are college players already or even players in other leagues around the globe who might still have college eligibility for one reason or another. So the role of a coach has either changed, or there's the need for this other role, one that has been traditionally vested in the general manager at the pro sports level in terms of evaluating players, projecting players, and kind of optimizing a roster. So there hasn't been that many general managers at the college level right now who have that kind of pro style experience or background, particularly with some kind of analytics or projection type of background. So my general sense is that the market has kind of just sprung out of thin air, with agents trying for a number that is higher than the rest of the numbers they're hearing, and then teams just having to deal with what agents are saying. So my general sense is that most teams right now are first deciding on their budget to spend. Second, getting a sense of the market of players at different price points. So for example, there might be some players who are asking for about $3 million. There might be some players who are asking for about $2 million, et cetera, et cetera. And then kind of like picking the guy they like best at each price point within their budget. But instead of that third step, what they should be doing is allocating their budget to the best values on the market, calculating some kind of intrinsic value for each player. So, for example, maybe the best value is actually to get 2 or 3 stars and just have a very top-heavy roster, as opposed to having this kind of set allocation for a guy at each price point.
Let me ask you this: to try and compare college to the NBA, it's just an unfair comparison. The NBA, you've got a salary cap, you get a number that you can work with. There's a different evaluation system. This is different. You don't have with over 300 teams playing Division I basketball, and even if you go to the power conferences, there's a wide range budgets. You have some schools, and UCF plays in the Big 12, that are spending $3-4 million on a roster. Others that are spending 18 to 20. So that's a clear difference in how the market's developing too, is it not?
Yeah, exactly. So first off, to just take the NBA example, I've heard that some teams are essentially looking to the NBA for guidance on how much should you pay your best player, your second best player, et cetera, when that is just kind of a false equivalency to the extreme, where the NBA has minimum salaries, max salaries, a rookie scale, restricted free agency, salary cap exceptions, distorting the market all over the place, such that the best players are wildly underpaid. So one, I guess, just taking that NBA data and applying it to college doesn't really make sense at all. And then secondly, as you mentioned, because there are such big discrepancies from one roster budget to the next at the college level, it's kind of very important to build that into one's own valuation framework.
Take me through what you think are some of the key data points that should apply here, because again, we're talking about age. We're still projecting somebody. We're taking players that played, mid-major, now asking to play high a major basketball. We're taking players that have been role players elsewhere to be starters. What are key things that you think teams should be looking at in evaluating the value of players?
Yeah, so obviously basketball is very contextual. It's not like you add up the numbers on a spreadsheet that one player is X good and the next player is Y good, and you add them up. However, that can be a reasonable approximation and something you kind of have to do if you want to put a number on a player. So as long as you're aware of the limitations of that approach, I actually think that ends up giving you a good baseline off which you can work in your ball knowledge and think through some common sense roster decisions. But so if you apply that kind of style of thinking, what you're going to do is first choose your kind of all-in-one metric, which is usually specified as what is your net impact per 100 possessions. So for example, if you look at KenPom, KenPom net rating is essentially adjusted net impact per 100 possessions on the team level. So if you have a well-calibrated all-in-one metric at the player level, you should be able to add up the player net impact to get to the team net impact. Again, with the obvious caveats of roster fit and the fact that basketball is not a completely linear game in terms of 1 + 1 does not equal 2. So once you have your choice of all-in-one metric, you want to build in a projection model that accounts for, as you say, aging curves, opponent quality adjustments, even a bunch of other contextual adjustments, and have a projection for each player for next season, which is likely going to be a lot better for freshmen, for example, as opposed to like a fifth-year senior might have less of a improvement from one season to the next. So then what you're going to do is project playing time for a player, whether that is model-based or whether that is subjective. And then this is a key ingredient. You're going to define what's your replacement level. So everyone talks about wins above replacement in baseball, for example, or more broadly across pro sports. The key kind of principle behind that line of thinking is, what is this notion of replacement level? So for college basketball, what I'm choosing to define it as, which I think is a sensible definition based on the market right now, is what is the level of player you can get for a scholarship only, i.e. like no NIL salary or revenue share salary that you have to pay the player. Essentially, that is the baseline off which you want to evaluate, okay, if I want to pay this player, or if this player is asking for $1 million, is he providing not just $1 million of value in a vacuum, but $1 million of value over what I can get for free? So then you want to take your projection for the player and say, okay, relative to this replacement level player, what is his projection above replacement? And then how much is he going to play to contribute to my overall team rating, to get the kind of contribution to team rating or KenPom rating, however you want to define it, above that theoretical replacement.
The thing, Nick, that and I find the piece that you did fascinating, and it came about because the story somebody reported Flory Badinga, the kid from Kansas, was seeking $5 million, and you can go read what Nick wrote. It's a little bit complicated, but you can get through it, and you came up with a valuation. My thought is this: I don't know how many people in college basketball are doing this, and I mean, I would guess you know the analytics industry better than me. I still think the majority of schools, even power schools, are winging it with agents that are making up a number and the money person of these programs going, kind of sounds right. And maybe that'll change in 5 years, because right now I think a lot of GMs are just, in some case, hey, they know the agents and they know the good agents. I'm curious, and it's just a guess, how many programs are actually going to the depths that you are? Probably in the next 2-3 years, all will. But I'm not quite sure many are using such formulas. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think right now, like I said, because it has been such a kind of drastic shift in what is the role and responsibilities of a head coach or a coaching staff, that it kind of changed from the more traditional what does a college coach do to all of a sudden these kind of player evaluation, projection, roster optimization responsibilities as well. Understandably, there's been quite the lag in terms of whether it's the coaching staff's responsibilities themselves changing, or the need to hire an additional GM position with that background. So as you said, not many teams are doing this style of valuation right now. However, there have been a select group of teams that have, at the very least, hired some interesting people with some of these similar backgrounds. So, for example, Wake Forest hired Steve Weinman, who is the former assistant GM of the Bulls, who has an analytics background himself. It'll be very interesting to me to see how Wake Forest approaches the portal off season this season. Especially because most of these GM positions at the moment still report directly to the head coach, with the head coach getting essentially veto power over roster decisions. So it will be very interesting to see kind of how many of these GMs essentially have the power to implement whatever they think their kind of like analytics background, projection background, roster optimization background would recommend, especially if it flies in the face of kind of how the market has been operating over the past couple of years.
Last question, I'll let you run. Can you moneyball it? Do you think it's possible to study the numbers and come back and say, yeah, we can moneyball this. If you want to compete with somebody spending 18 to 20 and you've got, 6 to 7, we're going to moneyball this and we'll find you the great shooting guard for $250. We'll find you the power forward for $400. Is it possible to moneyball this?
Yeah, so that's a kind of the multi-million-dollar question. I would certainly recommend taking a more rigorous approach to not taking a more rigorous approach. That's for sure. That being said, with some of the budget discrepancies, I would think it is very, very difficult to match the output of a $12 to $18 million roster if you only have a $3 to $4 million roster. Certainly very hard to match the $12 to $18 million rosters who are taking some kind of disciplined process. Maybe there's some $12 to $18 million rosters that are kind of just spending on bad players, and in that case, it might not make that much of a difference. But certainly, taking a more rigorous approach is going to help you outperform. That being said, I do think, kind of as I was alluding to the kind of well-managed $12 to $18 million rosters versus the not as well-managed big money rosters. I think most of the edge here is going to be small edges on many different decisions. And kind of the biggest edge while thinking through that is just not making a really dumb decision that essentially takes your roster. Maybe you had a $10 million budget, but you're spending $3 million on a player who really isn't moving the needle. I think the biggest edge in applying this framework is similar to the kind of early days of MLB Moneyball, is just not crippling your team with really bad decisions as opposed to like plucking Yaxel Lendeborg from thin air. Because after all, Yaxel was the top player in kind of all the subjective portal rankings last year as well, not just in quantitative models.
You can check out Nick on X or Twitter and get the link to his Substack. He's at Nick, Nikoza2, Nikoza2. Nick, thanks. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having me.
And listen, I mean, UCF's going to moneyball it again. I mean, Johnny Dawkins going to get a little bit more money after the success this past year, but he ain't going to spend what BYU's spending or Texas Tech or Kansas is going to spend. So it is interesting because it is a whole new world. And right now, I still think it's agents making up numbers, and it's up to coaches and GMs to go, yeah, that sounds kind of right, and there's got to be a better way to do it. I do think in the next 3 to 5 years, college basketball will have a whole bunch of analytic people on the GM side. We got news coming up. BJ Taylor is going to recap of the championship game, put a wrap on the college basketball season. If you're going on the stream now, which you can get there on Twitter at 96 on Game On or YouTube page, put in 96 in the game Orlando, click on the logo with the live button. Chris and I will play speed checkers. He claims he's a big betting favorite. So you can go over there and watch that when the Beat of Sports continues, both in the stream and the radio show in just a little bit. Move it. Oh. Move this back. We're live? All right, we're live. Okay. So Chris is going to come in. Checkerboard is set up. Line of things up here.
All right, you ready? Let's go. Speed checkers. All right.
Ready?
Go.
Oh,
God.
Oh, the action is picking up right now. Uh-oh. I got to move. Okay. You did? Yeah. Okay. Did that one, huh?
Oh, you set me up beautifully. Let's go. Speed checkers. Don't think.
Yeah, you're going to get me here when I do that.
Go. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, let's go.
Okay.
Let's go. Oh, you're screwed. Oh, you're screwed.
Not really. The intensity is picking up.
Let's go. No time to think. You're screwed.
Oh, I didn't see that. That was really bad.
Oh, you king me now too.
Okay.
Told you you're done. You're screwed. You can't go anywhere.
Let's go. That's fine. Let's go here.
The action is really picking up here right. Oh, Mr. Confidence over there, huh?
Good.
Mr. Confidence.
It's all good. You're stuck. You ain't going anywhere. You ain't going anywhere. Oh, wow. That's fine. That's fine. About to get another king.
Okay.
King me.
My move?
Yes, your move. About to king me again. King me again.
Whatever.
Let's go. Anywhere he goes, it's going to be a double jump. So there. We'll go here.
King me.
How much
7 minutes to go. We may not be able to finish in time.
we gotta finish.
King me.
Oh my God, what am I doing? Take that one.
Good. You missed your chance to jump me. Can you count there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Riveting.
King me. 2 minutes to go. The action is really picking up here.
Chase him down. Yeah, I'll let him go.
Hey, what are we doing here now?
You're stuck.
I'm not stuck.
You're stuck. You're stuck.
Who's stuck?
You, king me. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going? You got one move, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Speed checkers. That's what I thought. Give me that. We're not going to finish.
No, we're not. Got a minute to go. Go ahead.
Yeah, king me.
Okay. King me. Oh, to be continued.
Oh, all
the
right.
drama has built. Oh my God, this is unbelievable. Wow. Whew. I'm exhausted. I'm absolutely exhausted. Mm.
Let's really do the news. Yes.
Now it is time to do the news.
But now it's time for the news.
I think I pulled my back. I'm exhausted from that game of checkers.
Where was speed? There was no speed on your part.
Oh, I slowed it down.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, me.
Yes.
Speed checkers is not done yet. Still going on. What an intense game. I'm sweating here now. For the one of you that watched it on the stream, 11 o'clock hour, WYJM Orlando, WJR HD2 Cocoa Beach, Orlando sports leader, Marc Daniels, Chris Vasquez over there, speed checkers during the show within the show on the stream. It's tense. It's tense.
Got a lot. There's still a lot of game left.
I don't know what to do. I'm exhausted. Tonight, Magic played their final home game of the season, take on the Minnesota Timberwolves, who won last night in Indianapolis against the Pacers. Back-to-back for them. They have nothing to play for. They're locked into the 6th spot. So, again, the Magic get a team that may rest a bunch of guys tonight. Then they get Chicago and then Boston, who will have nothing to play for. So, again, I think the Magic win these 3. They're going to get the 6th seed. Could still get the 5th, but we'll see what happens tonight against Minnesota. Heat last night with their loss, they're locked into a play and cannot get out of the top. Cannot get out of the top six as Toronto beat them last night. Mike Malone formally introduced the head coach at North Carolina yesterday, which we knew about. And by the way, the Rays had 21,000. I was way off. They had 21,000 for the game against the Cubs yesterday.
Good for them. Or is it Cubs fans showing out?
Sandy Alcantara for the Marlins last night has a shutout again going into the ninth inning. He has a streak of scoreless innings and dominating through 77 pitchers through 8. They pulled him after he gave up a hit in the ninth. He didn't like getting pulled.
Neither did the fans.
And then the Marlins proceeded to lose to the Reds in extra innings. 3-2. Yeah. There you go with that. Gino Auriemma put out a statement apologizing again to Don Staley, said that the two coaches had spoke and everybody moved on, and everybody's all happy with that.
Okay.
All right. I guess. That's all good. Let's see. What else do we have? In some NFL stuff, Fernando Mendoza, Chris, apparently is not going to be at the draft.
You're number one pick. You should be forced to go to the draft.
I get the whole family thing and
bring them to Pittsburgh with you.
Man, you're the number one pick of the draft.
Do you think going to the draft lost its luster when they decided to make it in different cities instead of Radio City Music Hall?
No. Some of these venues are incredible. I mean, all of them are incredible. And again, as you said, he could probably bring 500 people. I just think, and I'm sure his mind's made up, you'll never get that moment back. There's something special, doesn't guarantee a success, but there's something special about being the first overall pick of the draft. That moment that you walk out, the hug and handshake of the commissioner. No one boosts the number one pick of the draft. Nobody does. And you'll never get that back. And you can say, well, I want to be with my family. They're all right there.
Bring them.
They're all right there. I kind of get it in a year that you don't know who the first pick is going to be and you don't want the embarrassment of sitting there. But does anybody not think he's going to be the first pick of the draft?
No,
I just think
it's clear cut. I mean,
yeah,
he only took the one visit to Vegas.
Yeah, I just I mean, family's most important, but man, I just think you never get that moment back, man. Never get it back. When you're down 4 touchdowns to the Falcons on a Sunday afternoon, you know, you've been sacked for the 7th time.
Surprised you went Falcons and not
And
Giants.
Spiro Ditas on CBS is like, am I ever going to get off the 6th crew that I keep calling Raider games? Yeah. So, but I guess that's his decision. Oh, well. All right. Do a little game show with Chris later on. Plus, we got to finish Checkers. And then our food segment, foods that Chris doesn't eat that Chris eats. Today it's cauliflower rice covered with stir fry and chicken.
With Migos playing in the background.
You can do that if you want.
Actually, can we do it for the stream? For
What?
licensing purposes, having music, since we don't do Double Shot Tuesday on the stream.
You could just maybe have it on your phone in the background and maybe the two people watching don't rat on us or something, but I don't know. Are we going to finish this?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to finish Checkers.
Go fast.
And then you'll eat after BJ Taylor.
Yes.
All right. BJ Taylor joins us. If you want to watch the end of the Speed Checkers match, get on the stream. We'll talk some hoops with BJ next. Up again? All right, here we go.
I don't remember either. Just go. Great. What? Fast. King me.
With the record state, I'm trying to play fast. I'm basically giving a positioning of the board. Oh, speaking of fast,
Yes.
it's your turn.
No, I just wait.
You did?
Yes. Give me again.
I'm trying to put an attack on. Chris seems to be killing time here.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for that. Yeah, that's right. Anywhere you go. Anywhere you go. Let's go. Man. You better not get him stuck. You're about to get him stuck. And you're screwed. Anywhere you go. Anywhere you go. Anywhere you go, you're screwed. Done. That's it. That's it, baby. Boom. Give me that.
How much time we got?
Yeah. Let's go. What did I say? What did I say? Can't stop me. You can't stop me.
He cheated anyway.
You can't stop me.
He cheated.
You
I think he
can't
was
stop
crowning
me.
himself and moving illegally. I don't play that European model, man.
I won.
You did win. I'm not. I lost
Right.
fair and square.
Can't stop me. Told you. Betting favorite.
What happened to my lighting?
By the way, someone did say that was my best joke ever to start the show.
Your wife texted? I didn't say it wasn't a good joke. It was a good joke. It was a good joke.
I'm trying to think of what my favorite joke that I've told is.
Next, Chris eats cauliflower rice
Need to go get more Coke.
with stir fry and chicken on top.
You with some more
I'm just letting you know, the stir
Coca-Cola.
fry, it's not fresh vegetables.
Oh.
It was a frozen bag of vegetables. I mean, I love you, but I wasn't still not feeling great. I'm not gonna,
It's fine.
But
I don't need veggies.
But I did eat the rest of this. I had this for dinner last night.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
I'm not bringing you leftovers. No, I cooked it fresh and then I put some aside for you. This is, and the soy sauce. So that's coming up. All right, that was fun. You did win fair and square.
Someone said, "Damn, I missed it." You can go back in the stream and watch it.
Yeah, because I think you should slow it down like the Magruder.
Scooter Magruder?
What an insult to the Kennedy assassination. The Magruder.
Wow.
I think Chris may have taken a couple of extra moves there. I think he
wow.
switched some things out, crowned himself a couple of times that he wasn't supposed
Go back
to
on the
be.
YouTube stream and you can watch it.
I'm going to slow that thing down. Pick up like a move where he slides a couple pieces off like that, maybe.
What happened to speed? There was no speed on your
Oh,
part.
you slowed down too. You were
No.
overanalyzing some stuff.
There was no speed on your part. All right, I got
Exhausted.
to call BJ.
He's the voice you trust for the teams you love. You're listening to Marc Daniels and the Beat of Sport.
An exhausting game of speed checkers online. Chris won. It's up for debate.
There's no debate.
I mean,
it's on
I think
camera.
he made
I
a
won.
couple of fishy moves and crowned himself a few times.
You're the one that crowned me.
Go back and watch the video. Slow it down frame by frame. I think you'll see the fraud that took place. BJ Taylor is the college basketball analyst. Find him at ESPN and CBS. And he's been joining us the last several weeks during the tournament on behalf of the good people at Loyal Source. And please go to DerbyDayOrlando.com. We're just a few weeks away of the Kentucky Derby. They got a great event. Friday of the Derby weekend, golf tournament at Eagle Creek Golf Club. Derby Day party at Acrisure Bounce House, the Bounce House at UCF. And you can learn about it, be part of it. Go to DerbyDayOrlando.com. Good morning, Mr. Taylor. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for having me back. How are things going for you on this Wednesday?
You know, I'm doing good. Lost my voice last week, but slowly getting it back. But that's okay. It's all good. You know, it's all good.
We can't have that voice being gone.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm fighting, but getting it back. Give me your thoughts on Monday's game. At times, I did think it was a good game to watch, but physical play, it definitely was. And so give me your thoughts on the game, and then I want to add to that. I'm not a fan. I know we're going to do this because the money. But I do not like these games in domes. I think the sightlines impact players, and I think the data backs it up. So your thoughts on the game and then the other things.
I think the game obviously was low scoring. Obviously, the Arizona-Michigan Final Four matchup, and even UConn-Illinois were not the highest scoring games, even though Michigan has the ability to put the ball in the hole. I thought that Monday night's game went kind of how we expected. I think we all thought that Dan Hurley, being, the premier coach in college basketball, would have his team ready to go. So they did put up a good fight. But at the end of the day, we all knew Michigan was the better team. They were the stronger team. They're the more physical team. If you look at the, 5 best players on the floor, Michigan has 4 probably of the 5. So I don't think it was any real surprise. There wasn't much suspense. Michigan took control of that game early on. And what Dusty May has been able to build up there at Michigan through the transfer portal, through pulling all these guys in from, 5 different schools, and Elliot Cadeau coming from UNC, and a Di Maul, the 7'3" center, coming over from UCLA, and then, Jackson Lindenborg, UAB, and Morez Johnson from Illinois. Right, he's put together a great team of portal power. He's activated, he accessed the portal, and that's kind of the new age of college basketball, I guess.
And as far as the dome stuff, do you agree?
Oh, yes. So to answer the dome question, I agree with you 100%, right? You and I both are in college basketball arenas, 30 nights, 35 nights a year, right? And these are gyms that are usually at the biggest, they're NBA-size arenas that hold 18,000, maybe 15,000. And in most college arenas, what are we looking at? Maybe 8, 9, 10,000 arena seaters, right? With the ceiling is much lower. As a player, you get accustomed to playing in those kind of arenas. And then when you get to the NCAA tournament and you have something like the Final Four where you're playing in, Lucas Oil Stadium where the Colts play, it's a totally different environment, right? You have to go as far as Dusty May having his guys practicing in the big house up there in Ann Arbor, to try to get them ready for the depth perception of the arena. So, I know it creates for a one-of-a-kind environment. 70,000 fans are in attendance of the event. I understand the financial reasoning behind why they make the decision to play in these huge domes. But if you're going for the best product of basketball, if you're going for the best played game, what environment would create the best opportunity for these players to play their best ball? You wouldn't play them in, football stadiums like they do. But as we know, you're not gonna, if you can get 70,000 seats sold, you're gonna get 70,000 seats sold. So it's not gonna change.
Look, there's enough criticism of college basketball, the portal system, and pay for play. But if you take a look at the makeup of the national champions, they got a guy that played at UAB. They got a guy that was unwanted on the bench at UCLA. They got a guy that you mentioned in North Carolina that they basically said, maybe you go elsewhere. They got a guy that was a role player at Illinois. So it's hard to argue that aspect of it. We may not like the unlimited transfers, but that wasn't a team that was 5 starters plucked off from somebody else.
Absolutely, 100%. Their ability, Dusty May's ability to access the portal and activate the guys that he was able to find, honestly was the portal working the way the portal was intended to work. All right. You have a tremendous player at UAB and Yaxel Lindenborg, a guy that's potentially going to be a first-round draft pick, even while he was at UAB. And now he's able to go up to the Big Ten and play at Michigan and be the best player on a national championship caliber team. You have an Adai Morrow who's playing for Mick Cronin at UCLA in a reserve role, right? And now you're able to bring him over to Michigan, where he now is potentially going to be a lottery pick in this year's draft. The most recent mock I saw, he was at 15, right? And now he's propelled his stock into a place to where, I mean, he's going to be a potential lottery pick, but he was not a guy at UCLA that was getting a ton of opportunity, right? You take Marez Johnson, came over from Illinois. He was not the caliber of player he was at Michigan. At Illinois, I believe he was a single-digit scorer. Now he's a consistent double-figure scorer for Dusty May. And then obviously UNC and Elliot Cadeau. Elliot Cadeau is one of those guys that while at UNC, a lot of the UNC faithful, a lot of UNC fan base has started to criticize him for his lack of ability to make outside jump shots. A lot of the fans and a lot of the people around the program felt like he was just a flashy, playmaking kind of guard who was a little bit more flair than substance. Well, now he goes to Michigan and showcases his ability to shoot the basketball a little bit better. He improved his range. He's improved his ability to make shots from distance. And now he's the Final Four most outstanding player. So all four of those guys absolutely were an actual example of the portal working the way you would want to see the portal work. So sure, I know we don't like, the number of transfers that are in the portal right now. And I mean, I'm not a fan of it either with, I think it's like 45% of eligible players right now are in the transfer portal. That's ridiculous. But the way Michigan did it is the way it was intended to work. And if you're upset at Dusty May, you're probably upset at Dusty May because he has the best eye for roster construction and roster building of anyone in the country right now.
Let me kind of stay on that portal story, and I don't mean this because he left UCF, but I mean, Mustafa Cham played at UCF. You know the background of how he ended up at Cincinnati. He's entered the portal again as they made a coaching change there. I like Mustafa. I wish him well. He's going to go to a third school in 3 years, and I'm not saying it won't work out, but it's hindering development because I do think if he was stable, whether it be at UCF or someplace else, he would progress. I didn't think he got significantly better last year, and he's about to go to a third school in 3 years, and somebody will pay him. But I do think that's an example of stability could help a player like that.
I agree with you 100%. I mean, he's a guy that if he was in one place or two places, his ability to have an off season with a coaching staff that actually knows where he needs to improve and can turn some of his weaknesses into strengths, right? And his size and his length and his athleticism, we all see his pro potential, but potential only matters so much if it never turns into real production, right? So he's a guy that, if he was with a program or with a coaching staff that could develop him in a way to get the best out of him, it would work great. I also, with the portal stuff and a lot of these guys that are transferring and going to different universities, I just want there to be a little more transparency as well with this stuff, Mr. Daniels, right? Because we're obviously going to point to the player like a Mustafa Chum, right? Like a Keyshawn Hall, who was at UCF the year before, and goes to Auburn, right? We're going to point at them because they are the players and they're the names that we know. But who are their agents and who are their handlers and who are all these people? Who are the actual adults around them that are influencing these decisions, all right? Because they're the ones that need to be held accountable as well, okay? These are 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old, young men. I don't call them kids because you are a young man. But at the same time, a 20, 21-year-old isn't making all these decisions, unilaterally. He has people in his ear. He has handlers. He has people who are basically telling him, you're going into the portal after this season, right? He only is having so much say in these conversations. It's a little similar to the kind of things you had with Darren Peterson at Kansas, right? A lot of people point the finger at Darren, but a part of it is also his team and the people around him who are influencing these players, right? So I understand that the player is the player. And at the end of the day, they're the ones who have to go out on the floor and produce, but all of these individuals around them are so influential in the decisions that these young men are making with where they're going in their careers.
What's your thoughts on Mike Malone taking the North Carolina job?
So the common consensus around the country, I'm sure you've heard it just like I've heard it, is that, it's a great hire for UNC and that he's going to be fantastic for the program. And this is awesome for the Tar Heels. They finally gone outside the family, this, that, and the third. And I don't disagree with any of that sentiment. I believe, Mike Malone is a winning coach, right? 10 years at North Carolina. 8 straight winning seasons at the helm of the Denver Nuggets, right? Won the NBA Finals in 2023, was huge and integral in the development of players like Nikola Jokic and players like Jamal Murray and even role players like Bruce Brown, who came to Denver and developed under him and then went on to get max contracts. So I don't believe there's any question in his development of talent. I think there are two things that are going to be very, very important for Mike Malone to have success at UNC. Number one, he's going to have to be able to take a page out of Brad Underwood's book and recruit internationally and recruit Europe, all right? I believe the fact that he can recruit and say, look, guys, I've coached, and not only coached, developed Nikola Jokic, who is one of the greatest players, not only in European basketball history, but in NBA history at the center position. You guys want to be a great player coming in from overseas? I've done it with Nikola Jokic. So he's going to have to be able to recruit internationally. I believe that's very important for his success. Number two, the only thing for Mike Malone is that while he was at Denver, there was always the air of he's a tough-nosed guy. He doesn't take any crap. He's going to speak his mind. He's from Jersey, all that sort of thing, right? Well, with these guys at North Carolina, there is going to have to be a certain level of humility that he is going to have to present to them. I'm not saying he won't. I don't have any doubts that he will, but it can't be I'm Mike Malone and I know more than you guys know, so you guys should just, shut up and listen. Guys in this era, they don't respond well to those type of things. Even if Mike Malone is right, okay, even if he's on point, there is going to have to be a way for him to get through and get buy-in from these guys at UNC. I believe the fact that he's coming from the NBA and he can let them know and appease to them that, hey guys, I know how to get you to the league. That's going to be a part of it. But the big part of it is the thing that happened at Denver at the end was that he kind of wore a lot of those players out and they got tired of hearing him berate them day in and day out. With the UNC guys being college players, he is going to have to find a way to connect with them on that level.
Let me end with this, and I admit sometimes I'm more negative than positive, and I don't like to be that. So despite all that noise in college basketball, tell me what you still love about this game.
Well, I think number one, if you love the actual product that's on the floor, the product on the floor is as good as it's ever been, all right? College basketball in terms of talent, in terms of player ability, in terms of the level of caliber of guy that we're keeping around the sport, even the schemes and the schematics what these coaches are doing is absolutely incredible, right? Once you get to game day or game night, the players are doing a great job and these coaches are doing a great job of putting tremendous play on display. How we're getting there is the part that a lot of us don't like, right? How we're getting to the final result is where we're having a lot of, this needs to change and that needs to change. And there does need to be more parameters around NIL and transfer portal and all these sort of things that the NCAA has to figure out and all these different universities. But I do love the fact that college basketball is being played at an extremely high level. I do love the fact that we still have camaraderie around, our universities and these programs, whether it's college football or college basketball, right? Even if it's a player that you're only going to see for half a year, 5 or 6 months. So that you still have that component of it. And all in all, no matter what, if you love the game, you'll continue to love the game and you'll continue to support the sport. And that's what I'm going to continue to do. I know that's what you'll continue to do. And that's what all the fans of the different universities around the country are going to continue to do. They'll continue to support their university, no matter how much, dust up they kick up on Twitter about how they hate the portal and guys are leaving this, that, and the third. You'll continue to support the university, right? UNC fans will continue to say, charge on, Florida fans will continue to say go Gators, and FSU fans will continue to be Seminoles fans till the day, they die. So we'll continue to support our universities, and that's that.
Please visit DerbyDayOrlando.com, a wonderful event put on by the good folks at Loyal Source. You can learn about their golf classic at Eagle Creek Golf Club on Friday, May the 1st, their Derby Day party at UCS Bounce House Acrisure Stadium on a Saturday, and the good charities that are connected to what Loyal Source is doing, and BJ Taylor is appearing on behalf of them. This was fun the last few weeks. Look forward to talking during the off season with you, and really appreciate it.
Thank you as always, Mr. Daniels.
BJ Taylor, who a rising star on the college analyst side and doing just great stuff. All right, Chris did win Speed Checkers, cheated. If you're on the stream, he'll be eating foods that he doesn't normally eat. Cauliflower rice is today's food. He's got vegetable stir fry on top with some grilled chicken because he's a 2-year-old that couldn't eat the cauliflower rice alone. So I basically drowned it in other flavors. But
and soy sauce.
And soy sauce.
With the Coca-Cola.
You're not pouring it on the food.
No,
huh? Okay.
no.
That's on the stream. If you want to watch Chris eat foods that he typically doesn't eat. And last time he ate the broccoli and made those faces like a newborn tasting something for the first time.
That was the worst day of my life.
All right, we'll do that on the stream and then come back to a little game show with Chris when the Beat of Sports continues.
All right, we're up.
Yep. Okay, so you've heated by the way, it's good Tupperware. I want it back. So there's hold it up.
There we go.
Okay, so that's the chicken with the vegetables and this cauliflower rice below. I love cauliflower rice. From a caloric standpoint, you can't beat it. The whole package is 60 calories. All right. So you're getting some rice. There you go. All right. Go ahead. And you put soy sauce on top?
I have not put on soy sauce.
Oh, okay.
I gotta try it without soy sauce.
Oh, wow. Okay. You
Bottoms
scared?
up. A little bit, but bottoms up.
You'll be fine. Go ahead.
Yep. Nope. Why is it crunchy? Why is there a little bit of a crunch?
Because to break the cauliflower down.
Oh my God.
What? What's wrong?
There should not be a crunch in rice.
Well, first, how about some vegetables and chicken with it? You running to get the soy sauce already?
Yes.
My God. Okay. Unbelievable.
Oh man. Why is rice crunchy? Rice is not supposed to be crunchy.
Sure it is. At
No.
times. You got some vegetables and chicken in it now?
Chicken.
You got to have the rice with it. All right, go ahead. Go. Now you can just chicken and vegetables. Get a full fork there of everything.
You know what? I can do green beans. Do some green beans.
Oh, wait. You're selecting what veggies too on the fork?
Oh, hold on. I don't do lima beans.
Okay. See, the rice is fine. You can't even taste it once you get the vegetables and the chicken and the soy sauce in it. It's fine, right?
There you go.
You're having like a free lunch here right now.
Is that a nice bite for you?
That's got lots of ingredients on it. There you go. Go ahead.
More soy sauce.
But you're fine, right? You're not in a fetal position in the corner here.
It's much better than the broccoli. I'll tell you
Yeah,
that.
because you have other things with it. I could put, like, we need to do cheese broccoli for you.
No. We're not, I did broccoli once. That's all you
Just
get.
go ahead. But like, you can't even taste the rice. Once you get the vegetables and the chicken with it, you can't even taste the
I'm all
rice.
about the chicken. Look, there's a.
Of course it is. Chicken's good.
I got a little pepper in here.
Oh, he's going to eat a pepper now.
Yellow pepper.
Okay. So you're fine. You got a free lunch. Yeah. You ate the burger with ham on it, or bacon on it, rather.
No, it was ham.
No, it was ham. I'm sorry, burger with ham on it. The broccoli, and now you're eating cauliflower rice.
All right, here you go. You get one of these.
One of what?
One bite. There's carrot. There's a lima bean. There's a pepper on there.
Yeah, go ahead.
You get one of these.
Okay, good. It's fine. You're surviving. What is that face? What's the face for?
I don't do veggies.
Oh, God.
I don't do veggies.
I gave you maybe 1/3 of a portion of cauliflower rice.
I do green beans. I love green beans.
What vegetables in there? There is broccoli in there, by the way. There is broccoli in there. Yeah, there's some chopped broccoli in there.
I'm picking around that for damn sure.
You're practically done with that. Look at this. You had the free omelet this morning when you came in.
Rice.
And now you're having like a free lunch here right now. You tell me on a tight schedule at noon, make sure you're fed now, you're good.
Rice is not supposed to be crunchy.
It's not. First off, it's not rice, it's cauliflower. Yeah. Proud of you. You haven't thrown up yet. You haven't made that face.
I haven't even had Coke yet.
Chicken's good.
Chicken's good. Very good.
Chicken's good. Vegetables good. Look at you. Nice job. Build you up. It's good Tupperware, though. Want that back. Don't give away Tupperware. Kidding me? Wash that thing out. Yeah. All right. Crippling stuff. All right, we'll come back. We got a little game show with Chris coming up.
I'm still going to be eating.
All right.
Never fear. Marc Daniels is here. Welcome back to the Beat of Sports.
Well, for those on the stream, you watch Chris try cauliflower rice for the first time. Scale of 1 to 10. 10 being I can't get enough. You're rating it a...
Give it a 4.
Progress.
Give it a 4. By the way, we got some comments. Someone said you must have drove your mother crazy with your eating BS. My mom, she would chop veggies up so thin to where I wouldn't even see them. And she'd always pull the, you ate this and that and you didn't even know it.
By the way, she did that when he was in his 20s.
She probably did, honestly.
So you really, at a young age, just needed mom to do that because you just wouldn't eat it.
No, I would not.
Wow.
Someone says it looks fantastic, so kudos to the chef.
Thank you very much. It is delicious. I did it last night for dinner myself.
Someone says, all I'm picturing is him as a kid stomping, no, no, no.
Absolutely. Great text. Yeah.
And then someone said, you look healthier.
To you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you need to eat healthier. Supposed to the garbage that you eat.
What garbage do I eat?
Well, the fact that I got to bring in healthy food that you've never tried. By the way, you haven't opened the sunflower seeds yet.
I haven't.
Okay.
Those will be for later.
Just remember, I need the Tupperware back. You don't give away good Tupperware. I don't think you're walking out of here with my Tupperware.
I would never steal another man's
keep
Tupperware.
Inventory of my Tupperware. I think's coming home. You kidding me? All right, let's do a little game show here. Time for a little weekly game show. Chris is our contestant. Cheesy game show music behind. Today we're playing Fact or Fiction.
Fact or Fiction.
You ready?
Yes.
Fact or fiction. Fernando Mendoza will change his mind and show up at the NFL draft.
Fiction. No, I think there'd be no point in him coming out and saying that he's going to spend time with his family to then backtrack and say, you know what? I want to go to the draft. I think wherever he's going to be with his family is where he's going to be. I think the NFL, if there's a clear-cut number one pick like we're assuming there is this year, I think you should have to show up, shake Roger Goodell's hand, take the picture. It's part of being an NFL athlete. So I think he should be there. But he will not.
Okay. I tend to think he will not be showing up and that his word is his word. Can I ask you one other quick question to kind of deviate here?
Yes.
If the Raiders were to say, hey, we're open for trade, who would trade up for the number one pick?
No one. No one.
How far down could the Raiders go and still get Mendoza?
Do you have the draft order in front of you?
Yeah.
Let me hear the teams.
Of course, no, I just took it off. Raiders.
Okay.
Jets.
They're not taking Mendoza.
Cardinals.
No.
Titans.
No.
Giants.
No.
Browns.
That would be a Browns thing to do, but I don't think so.
Commanders.
No.
Saints.
No.
Chiefs.
No.
Bengals.
No.
Dolphins.
You got me there.
They just signed a guy, though. Hold on. Just play my game. Rams.
No.
Ravens.
No.
Bucks.
That's intriguing.
Okay, but the point is I'm almost halfway through the first round.
Yeah, but there's no one clamoring to move up to number 1 for Mendoza.
Fact or fiction, whoever takes Jeremiah Love, he'll rush for over 1,400 yards.
Wherever he goes?
Wherever he
No,
goes.
fiction. No. Offensive line matters. I mean, we were in love with Ashton Genty, and we saw what he was behind a very bad Las Vegas Raiders line. So, no. I'm a huge Ashton Genty fan. I don't know if Jeremiah Love could be put behind that kind of line and rush for 1,400 yards.
Fact or fiction, the Magic will be the 6th seed in the NBA's Eastern Conference playoff.
Fiction. I mean, you follow up your 7-game win streak with, what, a 7-game losing streak? 6-game losing streak? Losing 7 of 8? Something like that? And there was just some games, like, must-win games that you lose. The third quarter continues to be a struggle for the Magic. And there's been a few wins that they've had this year where the team that they're playing is so focused on tanking that they get up and then they're just like, we'll let off the gas and the Magic will come back and win. So, no, I don't think the Magic will finish in the 6th spot.
Clearly, Chris supports Steve Holman of the Atlanta Hawks.
Dirty, rotten players. Every single one of them.
Jeff Passan reporting that Connor Griffin, the 19-year-old shortstop sensation for the Pittsburgh Pirates, is agreeing to a 9-year, $140 million contract. True or false, Connor Griffin will play his entire career for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
False. Nobody spends their entire career in Pittsburgh. Nobody. When it comes time to give him a monster deal, should he make it through this one and live up to the hype, they'll be like, no, we don't pay guys. So it's only a matter of time before Paul Skeens gets traded. So no, he will not spend his entire career in Pittsburgh.
By the way, Gutty moved too, cutting the 9-year deal for $140. Get the money now.
I guess. I don't understand it, but
I mean, yeah. Fact or fiction, Billy Donovan is a TV analyst next year.
Fiction. I still think he's coaching the Bulls.
Gary Reinsdorf said it's up to the new management of Chicago to determine if Billy Donovan will be their coach. Bulls cleaned out their front office. Yep. Donovan's still under contract. By the way, not that I was looking for any attention, but Brennan Sir, who was on with us yesterday, who's very good friends with Billy Donovan, he did break some news. His point was that Carolina went to try to visit and get 30 minutes with Billy Donovan in Chicago on Sunday, and he wouldn't meet with them. So those that say that Billy said, well, hey, I'm not talking. Clearly, they were trying to get in touch with him, and maybe they concluded we can't wait, and therefore we'll take Mike Malone. But I don't think Billy Donovan's going to go coach in college again. I don't.
Do you think he's with the Bulls?
I tend to think not.
Okay.
But I don't believe, and I don't spend a lot of time talking to Brendan about this, but he's always made it clear that in his conversations with Billy, and they talk a lot, that he loves the NBA. Now, the results may mean he never coaches again, but Brendan has told me that there's a lot about college basketball Billy didn't like even before we got to the current model that we're in right now.
Is there a way, and I find this would be pretty funny, say the Bulls, their new GM decides Billy Donovan's not our guy. The Orlando Magic fired Jamal Mosley. Does Orlando finally get Billy Donovan as their head coach?
Well, if the Magic are in the market for a coach and you're looking for those that have experience, I'm not quite sure that would get a fan base excited the way the Bulls have been the last few years. And I go back to the question: who is the one that would be making the decision to hire the coach? Is it Jeff Weltman, or has the Magic ownership decided someone else will be in charge of basketball operations?
I find it. I guess it'd be kind of a full circle moment. You call it that, where he turned down the gig years ago.
Oh, it was more than that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That would be wild. Fact or fiction? Ty Simpson has to wait a day to be drafted.
Fiction. I think we see it every single year where teams will trade back up into the back end of the first round because they want that fifth-year option with the guy. So I do think Ty Simpson probably later in the first round will be drafted by a team, again, who wants that fifth-year option to keep him under the rookie contract. I don't know who, but he will be a first-round pick.
Even though Chris is not a big golf fan, fact or fiction? Bryson DeChambeau is one of the final 3 groups Sunday at Augusta.
Final 3. You know what? I'll say fact.
Okay. Be great for TV.
Yeah, exactly.
Be great for TV.
Exactly.
He put himself in position to be in contention at Augusta. By the way, the par 3 tournament begins in about 13 minutes and this afternoon, and the weather's really nice for Augusta National at the moment. Fact or fiction? 3 more times this season, Orlando City will lose by 4 goals or more.
3?
Yeah.
3 more times.
3 more times.
Woo.
You're saying that's a slam dunk?
Would that be a record?
I'd have to go look that up, but 2 5-0s and a 6-0.
3 more times losing by 4 goals or more?
Yeah.
Oh my God. They can't be that bad. No, I'll say fiction. They cannot be that bad where you're losing 6 games by 4 goals or more. They can't be that bad. Hell, I'll go be goalie. I'll go be the goaltender.
Fact or fiction? In the wake of Bill Belichick being the football coach, Mike Malone, the basketball coach, Tony La Russa will become the manager for North Carolina baseball.
No, fiction. That would be funny if they hired a former major league.
They've got a good
coach.
baseball coach now.
That would be funny though.
Fact or fiction? Daniel spends $18 on a salad at the terminal tomorrow before his flight to Kansas City.
Fiction. There's no way you're going to spend $18 on a salad.
Well, it's not because I'm cheap, but the place I normally get a salad at has jacked their prices up so much the last 2 years that I cannot justify doing it.
$18.
I used to love that salad.
So what's on the salad?
Oh, it's one of those you pick, build your own salad.
Okay.
You get the base,
Mm-hmm.
then you get a protein,
Yep.
and then you get like X number of stuff, and then you pay on top. And I used to, pick out the things I like. And it used to be like $12, $13. It's like $18 now, and I can't do it.
So what do you get on it? I know you don't do dressing.
No, I don't do dressing.
So you do.
I do chicken on
Lettuce,
top of either
chicken.
lettuce or spinach.
Okay.
And then I'll get tomatoes, mushrooms, black olives,
How you ruin the salad?
corn.
Okay.
And then I might add an egg or something like that to it.
I mean, if you go to a
And
fancy,
bacon bits and so forth. It's $18 now.
you go to a fancy restaurant, you're spending like $20+ for a damn
Well,
salad.
for some reason, mentally, I accept I'm sitting down. There's a service applied to it.
Yeah, those always kind
I'm
of
making my
they fascinate me. Like,
I'm making my turkey wrap tonight.
we got to spend money to make our own food.
Well, the person does it in front of me, but it's a great salad. It's not spending $18.
So I was right. Fiction.
It is fiction.
All right.
Plus, I don't know what seat I've got tomorrow either. Is it aisle? I hope. Is it middle, which I'll have to live with? Is it window? I'm going to vomit on somebody.
I love window seat.
I can't do it.
I've flown with my daughter twice. Once, like to and from Columbia.
Yeah.
Both times I had to sit in the middle. My wife, it makes sense for my wife to have the aisle so she can get up, take my daughter to the restroom, change her diaper, whatever.
Are you saying stranger to your right?
Mm-hmm. No, stranger to my left on the window.
Oh.
Well, wherever the window is.
Stranger danger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm always in the middle. I can't
Hey,
enjoy
you're
the window.
You crazy or not, huh, Chris? Back to put a wrap on the Wednesday show next.
Time for the latest news, gossip, trends, and off-the-wall stories. Trends.
That's the craziest thing I ever heard.
Parking was a mess at the nearby Hooters at Augusta. Yep. Just the way it is. Get a good lunch. Part 3 tournament's about to get underway just a little bit. And you can watch that on ESPN today. And the weather's supposed to be good for round 1 of the Masters tomorrow.
You know, listen to Jason Kelsey?
I will not. Mike Tuck is sitting in tomorrow as I fly to Kansas. I'll be doing the show Friday from Lawrence. So catch him. Cam Miller is going to be on for his weekly football segment. Whit Watson will preview the Masters with Mike and all that fun stuff. Miss any of today's show? Go where you get your favorite podcast, Time of the Media Sports on Demand. Subscribe, get a downloaded listening convenient for you, and catch the stream. Go to our YouTube page, 96 of the Game Orlando. Click on the logo and the live button. You can watch the show and see how Chris cheated in checkers. He didn't. He won.
I won.
Square.
That's right. And I ate cauliflower rice.
He did. Very
and
proud
veggies.
of that. And I'm getting the Tupperware back.
Yes.
Chris,
Full of
have a
veggies.
good day.
You too, Mark.
Chris produced. I'm Marc Daniels, The Beat of Sports.